Mocha, apple and cinnamon cake, really nice. That's all right as well. Uh, Water, vape. All right, morning. Not a bad morning so far. 12 days out of the asylum. And it's been pretty, after I think it was 7.5 weeks in the asylum, it's it proved tough to adjust, not only to that, but to the chemicals that I'm on at the moment, to take the edge off. It takes between 10 to 12 weeks to stabilize. I've been on them 8 weeks. And like 1 week, sail through it. Second week, I can barely breathe. You don't even know what I think about during those weeks, during those times. Um, it's pretty tough. But yeah, this is my good week. And so, with that said, now that the sun's gone in, I'm going to pop to the supermarket, get some Demerara sugar, and I'll get onto the meat on the bones of this video when I get back to the flat.
Nearly 3:40 on Sunday, the 2nd of November, autumn, or fall if you're in the United States. Not a bad view, this. Not as good as a view at my old house, the family home, where I had this great panorama. If you've got time, if you're chilled out and just want to kick back and watch a slow burner, and look at a good decent view, that's not a bad video to watch on YouTube. But yeah, not a bad view. I'll take it. Busy traffic by subway and pavements, small stairwell, subway, the entrance into town that I'm on the edge of, a park over there, a big island, a big roundabout, the medical centre, the communications hub for the town, which means I get great signal and great broadband Wi-Fi around here, and often quite busy. It's got more busy overnight. I don't know why. In the past year, but yeah, not a bad view. Not a bad view and a bad time down the coffee shop this morning either. Quite a pleasant experience having a free coffee, because I hadn't been there for so long, in about 3 months. I think it was over 3 months that I hadn't been down there for. And yeah, quite pleasant. Bumped into an old school friend from high school who walked past, and we chatted for about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. And so I had a couple of mochas. That's chocolate and coffee. An apple and cinnamon cake. That was really nice. The mocha was nice as well. My water and my vape. I don't always wait for that long. But yeah, looking at watching the world go by, and then I did the introduction to this video. And soon after, I realised, hang on a sec, I've got something wrong there. And that is like meditation. Right, the point I'm sure you know about meditation is that it's not that you've lost concentration, that your mind's racing and so on and so forth. It's that you notice that you've lost concentration, or that your mind's racing, or that you're planning or remembering or whatever, rather than being in the moment. That is the point of meditation, to focus, to acknowledge I've lost concentration and so on. Well, the point of cumulative diarying is that you're accumulating over time various skills: how to speak into a microphone, how to speak into a camera, how to write text, how to combine image, audio, text, and so on. You're learning the skill of when to put things online, that I sort of lost for a while. When to put things online, when to keep it private, and so on and so forth. So you're accumulating skills to make better use of the accumulation of knowledge, competencies, and to improve your perspective, to accumulate a perspective worth having, a radar worth having, if you like. It's that accumulation. That is what cumulative diarying is all about. To think, to do something. I don't always have to. I've got to the point now, and I've sort of been there for quite a while, of thinking, I've got something wrong there. What did I get wrong? Why did I get that wrong? So it's a compounding process, a cumulative process of making improvements. It doesn't have to be huge change rapidly. It's just gradual over time. You know, you're the editor, you're the author and the editor of your perception, of your life story, of who you are, and how you look at the world, how you interact with the world. You're the author and the editor of that. You know, your reactions to it, your responses to it, I should say. But early on, it does take time, and you've got to be patient with the process. But it does take time. But early on, for a significant amount of time as well, it may be like the story they say about the fish. And one fish says to the other, the water's nice today. And the other fish goes, what's water? And it's sort of that sense that you'll be, and I was, so familiar with a certain way of looking at things, a certain way of authoring things, writing, you know, perception and so on and so forth, and response and reactions, that it seems completely natural to you until you get to the stage of realising, actually, I've got something wrong there. And that process just builds up over time. And it's a pretty interesting process. But that's the hub of cumulative diarying. You know, like I say, you need patience, you need to take pride in what you're doing, you need to acknowledge there will be a future me, a future self, that'll take pride in the fact that I kept at it, that I did this stuff. And like I've said before, in Britain, with the NHS, if you're expecting to see a psychologist, which many people want to see, the state of the waiting list, because so many people want what they call talking therapy, is pretty dire. So I'd say by all means, it's a place for both. Stuff like cumulative diarying, where you don't particularly need a psychologist, another editor in the long term. But there's a space for both. And there's a need, potentially, for both with many people, I'd have thought. Personally, I don't think I'd get anything out of seeing one now. I've pretty much done the work. Now, I suppose I'll turn back into a psychologist. and say, how's the water?